How you doing?
Laurie, so good. So thanks for hanging out with us. Guys, this is Laurie Bloomfield.
Hey, how you doing?
She's awesome. She also is part of the Nightwatch team.
Love it.
She is a warrior, intercessor, worshiper, and she really loves sharing about Jesus with people. And that's something I really appreciate about you, Laurie. Like, I think a lot of people don't know where to start when we talk about sharing with Jesus or approaching people. It's like, how do you start? And we've been talking about, if you've been following this series, we've been talking about as sons and daughters, we have a position with our Father of power and authority, and part of that is learning how to share that, and how to invite people like into our relationship with the Father. So that's what we want to talk about today. If you read the blog article, you'll realize there's a lot of reasons why we share the love of Jesus with people. It's not just part of our life; it's actually
Our life.
It is our life. Yes, exactly. So anyway, thanks for tuning in. Laurie, could you share a little bit about where you grew up or what life was like and how you met Jesus?
Yeah, I grew up with a stepfather, and I didn't meet my father until I was 19.
Wow.
So I didn't know him at all. I'd never met him. But we kind of he kind of came to live with me because of some issues, physical. So, but long before that, when I got saved at a young age. Well, I was a teenager, really hurting. I had a lot of stuff happen, and there was abuse and stuff, and molested by a teacher in school, and just a bunch of stuff. And I was just like, I knew I needed more, and I was the first one saved in my family. I got saved in my bedroom by myself.
Wow.
And it was pretty cool. Yeah, I just knew there was something beyond, what was going on. So I just, I had this picture of Jesus on in my room, man. So I made this thing. I'm looking at this picture of Jesus, and I had to make it official or something. But I actually got saved there, and I was still messed up in some other sin and some other addictions. But at the same time, God's grace is like, that's what's really cool about the Lord. In spite of where you are, in spite of what's going on, He just kind of really knows how to say, I know this is temporary. Just kind of hang in there with me.
Wow,
that's good. We're gonna get through this thing, And He stays with it. It stays with you even through all the junk, So I was really had some addiction with porn and stuff, and lust was really kind of messing me up. So after that, it was just just kind of growing stuff.
Awesome. There's so much to your story. Sometime I would love for you guys to be able to hear her full story, but that's where you're coming from. So tell us a story of where you got to share about Jesus with someone, or I don't know. I know you have a lot of stories.
I have a lot of stories. I used to live in New York City. I used to live in Brooklyn, and we had this bus, man, and they used to it was really cool. We'd pick up kids, in the projects and stuff, but they loved us because they knew that was the only place that they would ever be able to really feel comfortable. So when they see our bus, man, and you just pop,
all the kids,
man, and they'd be flying. And it was really cool. It wasn't just a weekly thing. When we played wall ball with them, we did all kinds of cool stuff during the week, and we just wanted to be a part of their lives, not just because we knew that they didn't have anything.
Wow.
So we had a really, really neat time, and it was, you never know what's gonna look like until. So one day when I was invited to a birthday party to one of the kids. Unfortunately, when I went there, all the parents and all the adults were getting high in the other room, and I was the only adult. I was the only adult in this room. It's a room full of kids, and I had no idea who some of them were. And I was the only adult, and I'm like, okay, this is cool. I can do this.
Wow.
But it was just
experience.
It was just kind of neat, just kind of hanging out.
Is there a story of my heart? I actually haven't ever really in America in the States, haven't actually led someone to Jesus yet, but I had a dream about it, and I believe it's gonna happen. I've gotten to pray for a lot of people. I've seen the Lord move in healing, but my heart is like, hey, Lord, I'm like, is this the one? Is this the one? And so,
I do.
Do you have it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool because I'm a part of it. There's a really neat thing called Bibles to School. And it takes a kid out of school for their lunch and their recess, so it's not like in their classes. And you take their free time and you bring them to like a local church or outside of the school. It could be any building, really, almost. Just, whatever's close. And you teach them that they have like a Old Testament thing, or depending upon what age. It ranges from first grade to fifth grade, I think. They're usually inner city kids, and I work with two schools in Lancaster, and they one of them is a little more rowdier than the other. But one time, just recently, matter of fact, I was teaching a class, and I just sensed the Holy Spirit saying, "She's ready," and I'm like, and I don't even know how it happened, because I have a whole.
How old are these kids again?
Oh, they're in second grade, so they're probably 8 and 9.
Okay, so little guys.
So yeah, little guys. But it was really interesting. I was sharing the gospel, and all of a sudden, this girl said, "God doesn't hear my prayers. He doesn't listen to me. He doesn't listen to my prayers." And I said, "Well, what are you praying?" And she goes, "That I would be good, and that I wouldn't cause my mom to be mean and bad, or spank me or whatever, And I was just like, "Oh wow," So I didn't say anything. I just kind of like, and I kept it in my heart, and I just let it go. And a few minutes later, God said, "I want you to talk to her." So somehow I was able to separate myself, and I asked her. I said, "Has there ever been a time that you asked Jesus into your heart?"
Wow.
And she goes, "Nope." And I said, and that quick. Then I said, "Would you like to?" And before I finished, "Would you like to?" She's, "Yep." So I said,
"Whoa."
You can just feel like there's some fruit that's just ready.
Yeah.
I mean, you can minister to somebody up to a certain point, and all of a sudden,
it's like now.
But all of a sudden, like you can just pick it off the vine, and you just know it's ready.
Wow.
And that's exactly what she was. So I was talking to her about asking Jesus, and so I led her into a prayer, and right after she prayed, she looks at me, she goes, "This little tickle inside here."
Wow.
And I just smiled. I said, now you're going to be ready to be able to be good for your parent, for your mom and dad, because now you have somebody living inside of you that can help you with that. You're not all by yourself.
Wow.
So
that's so
beautiful. So it's really funny, because every week now when I see her, she's like always right hanging with me, and she wants to hold my hand, going back and forth to the school, and she's just like right there. And so whatever it is, man, you never know what you say is how effective it's going to be.
That's so amazing. Thanks so much for sharing. That's so encouraging.
Yeah.
I think I'm noticing in young people a real hunger and desire. Anyway, so that is just one example of what it looks like to be obedient. You heard the Lord tell you to go and speak to her, and you obeyed, and look, then you saw the fruit, which is so amazing. So something I want to leave you guys on is that you shared a little bit about your story, and then you shared about just sharing the gospel with this young person. And that's what I think we can all do. Like, we all have a story. You have a story. I have a story. We all have stories. And when we step out in faith, and we share with people, and we actually have authority. We have ability to bring people into relationship with Jesus simply as asking them a question. Like, have you ever accepted Jesus?
Yeah, it's so simple. And yet people are afraid to break out of their box. And another thing is, they're afraid to share things that are personal to them, and yet they don't understand they're not alone. And usually when God prompts you to say something, it's usually exactly what that person you're speaking to needs to hear. And that might be the opportunity that, and you may not seal the whole deal right away as far as bringing someone to salvation, but you can leave something for someone else to sow, someone else to water, and all of a sudden we all get the benefit of it. I mean, it's not
some water.
Exactly, but we can't be so stiff and so separating ourselves from our story.
Wow.
But our story is a part of our life.
Yeah.
And that's what causes others to say, what makes you, man, you had all this stuff. And, I mean, because there's a lot of issues I didn't even talk about. I was born underneath the sheets purple. I wasn't even alive. I mean, they found me. My mom had passed out. And so I already started out with, that's why there's some other issues and stuff. But they found me and they got me breathing again. And so, and that's what brought me into going to a special schools and things. There's a lot of other things in my life that's going on. But see, I'm not ashamed to talk about that stuff. Because those are the things that God uses to speak into other people.
Yeah.
How'd you do that, man? I said, let me just tell you. I was like, yo.
Let me tell you.
Yeah, I got a story for you.
That's so rad. That's so good. Guys, I hope anyone's watching that you feel stirred in your heart, that you too can do that. You can. It's literally as simple as asking a question, or, you know, even just being available to pray for someone. Sometimes I'll be walking down the road and or I'll be driving even sometimes, and I see someone and you just kind of sense like a sadness or something, and it's the easiest thing to walk over and say, hey, what's going on? Can I pray for you? Can I stand with you? And I've had numerous people tell me, like, through prayer, or like just even encouraging word, like, you've made my day. Like, I'm so glad I saw you today. And I'm like, it literally took me 5 minutes. 5 minutes.
Right.
And so anyway, guys.
I used to work at a hospital. I can't tell you how many people I prayed for in a hospital. But very rarely do they ever say, no, I don't. I think I had one person out of all the years that I worked there. And you just give it out, you know, and you don't be ashamed.
It's so good. That's awesome. So guys, this is the challenge for the week, because we've talked a little bit about sharing Jesus, sharing our stories. So this is a challenge for all of you guys who are like, I want to step into this area of sonship. Like, all sons and daughters are called to share. So I want to do that. And so if that's you, this is the challenge. This is the big one, okay? Read Luke chapter 10. I feel like in that there's a mandate for all disciples. It's Jesus sending out the 72. So it's not just apostles. You know, some people are like, well, Jesus just gave authority to, you know, the 12. But actually, he's given it to 72 disciples. He sends them out, and they have this crazy experience. So I want you to read that. Read what happens. And then this week, talk to 3 people.
Yeah.
And I say 3 people because you can talk to one person and get rejected, and that can be really hard. But out of 3, I guarantee you're going to have one amazing conversation. So try 3 times, and then email me with the story. So even if it's just like, hey, I got to pray for this guy, he got healed, or I got to encourage this person, and they were really thankful. Just hit me up, send it to me, and then next week I'm going to have a blog article with all the different stories that people send in, and I hope to have a really fun video for you guys that time. So anyway, thanks for...
One more thing?
Yeah, go for it.
I have found when you listen to the Spirit and you do it, it's really important. If you do it, God will do it more. I mean, the more you do it, it's just like lifting weights, you know, it'll get easier, but it'll be, you know, you start lifting. It's a little harder to begin with. You feel kind of awkward and kind of, but the more you use that muscle, all of a sudden God will give you more opportunities. And that is what's really cool.
That's true.
Because that, all of a sudden, they'll be coming out of the woodwork. Where are they?
That's literally what I've been experiencing that this year.
Yeah.
God actually told me, he's like, keep flexing your faith when I'm praying for healing. Because I was praying for someone that was like, had a severe physical condition the other day. And I was like, they didn't get immediately healed. And I was like, you know, I want to see immediate healings. I've seen, you know, quite a few with like aches and pains and, you know, knees and ankles, but then I felt like God was like, keep flexing your faith. Like, keep using it. And you'll get there. And so, anyway, that's a great word. Thanks so much for sharing, Laurie.
Thanks so much.
I hope you guys are encouraged. Thanks for checking out this video. See you next week. Sunday Sunday.
Be blessed.
Woo!
Yep.
Awesome.
Very cool.
Yay. Yeah. Thank you. That's great. I'm so excited.